Alright, let's get Friday's Daily Puzzle on chess.com. This is called Forward March, Backward Checkmate. It's black to move. Give the video pause and try yourself if you feel like it. Forward March, Backward Checkmate. Alright, I don't have that many checks in this position. It feels like this knight is the only piece that can check. That feels like an interesting check. I think the king doesn't have a whole lot of moves. It has two, and they're both onto the diagonal where the bishop is. But, like, where do I want this knight? So maybe I can jump in with my knight. So knight here, and then either way, I can jump in here. So that's mate, if the king was here. So if I go here, the king has to go here. Otherwise, I made it on the next move, right? So here, 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 and maybe my pawns are getting involved. So I think the king only has one move there. Or no, it doesn't. I can go here or here. But either way, I can check with a pawn on the next move. I feel like it has to be that. I must be pushing the king back into these pawns. Knight here, king here, knight here, king to one of these two squares. If the king goes here, if the king goes to this square, I have this, which would force the king onto this square anyway. This is tough. I'm having a hard time visualizing where my pieces are. Here, 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 and then now there are two lines, so I should calculate both of them, I guess. So I'm just going to do one at a time. So I'm going to say if the king goes here, then I have this check. Does it do anything? Where's my knight? Like, this knight probably has to get involved somehow. Check there. The king has two squares to go to again. This is extremely difficult to calculate. Does my knight get in somehow? Yeah, I guess I have that knight check. Okay, maybe that was checkmate. Check here, check here, and then I have this check. The king can go back to where it was, and I can check it with a pawn. And then I think I might have a discovered mate there. No, I'm gonna have to hold this square somehow. Ugh, I mean, this is definitely what it is, right? I'm having a really hard time visualizing this. Check. I'm going to make this move because I think it has to be it. And then I think this probably has to be it, but at least I have a knight here now. I'm just like having a really hard time visualizing where my knights are. So now it's here, and now the king has two moves. Here, here. So calculating both of those is extremely difficult, I'm finding. Here, here. I want to bring my knight in. I feel like that's a good move. Like, bring my knight to here. But then the king can jump back to where it was. Then I have a pawn push. So here, there's two lines to calculate. Here is what I'm thinking. The king has two moves from here even. It could still go to this square, or it could go back to here. If it goes to this square, and check with the pawn, and then it would be forced back to this square. I would check with the other pawn. It would be forced to this square. And is there a discovered mate? Is this mate? It's not. Dude, this is so hard. Is this the next move? Dude, I couldn't calculate both of those lines because I couldn't even calculate one of them. Okay, this is the line I was just looking at. Check here. Now, I'm thinking bring the knight in is my initial instinct. I think taking away all three of these squares and then forcing the king back into this pocket is more important, probably. But if I just go here, the king just goes here. And I hadn't thought about this line yet. But, so here, here, and then it must be pawn push, because I don't really have any good checks other than that. Is the bishop just checkmate? It's not checkmate. The king could go here. So here, again, the king has two moves. Go here or here. I don't think I like this. I think I really want to keep this force field going. Here, I just don't know. This is a very difficult to calculate. I mean, it's Friday. It should be getting harder. All right, if I go here, the king has two moves. Here, here, or here. Both of which are on this diagonal. So is this just mate? Yeah, it is. Right? Check. King on either one of these squares, because it can't go here or here. The knight has both of those. Pawn's protected. This is protected. Yeah, that's mate. Check, check. That's it, right? Checkmate. Check one of these two squares, mate. Looks good to me. Why? Oh, my knight's going to hang. I can't remove my bishop. So I was right about this probably. Okay, now the king has to go there, and then I think it's probably the pawn push. Ah, man, I shouldn't have committed so quickly. And then is this like a discovered mate? I was looking at this. King here. How do I take away this square? Oh, is it just this? Okay, I still don't have this, so I don't even really feel bad about not getting it. I'm staring at the puzzle and I can't figure this out. So if I go here, the king has one move, and then is this mate? It is. Yeah. Wow. Okay. That was tough, dude. That was a hard calculation. Yeah, there's multiple lines in there. I gotta analyze. Okay, so first two moves are forced. Or no, just the first one move is forced. The king, after this knight check, if the king goes here, I think I have mate on the next move, right? Yeah, this is just checkmate. So the king has to go here. And then I saw this knight check, but the king has two moves, which was confusing to me. So is it quicker if the king goes here? No, it's mate in 4 either way. What's the line? b6, king b5, because it is forced. Knight d4, king b4 is forced. Okay, a5, king here. Okay, so very similar line. If the king goes here, which is what happens in the puzzle, I just do this first. a5. Yep, okay. Alright, so tough one. Some forcing moves. There's just like a little fork in the road that I was having a hard time with. So the first move in the puzzle is this check right here. Which is going to force the king onto one of these two squares. If the king goes here, this is just checkmate immediately. So the king is going to have to go here. So I saw this, and then I saw that my knight getting in here is probably good, but this is where I got a little confused, because the king can do two different things. So I was a little overwhelmed by there being two different lines. They end up being kind of the same line either way. In the puzzle, the king goes here, and at that point I'm able to bring my knight in and give a check. And that's going to force the king onto this square, so they sort of transpose into each other. Either way the king went, I would have just been able to do these things that I'm about to do. So now I can give this check with this pawn. King's only going to have one move there, and it's here. And then once the king is there, I can push my other pawn, and the king's going to be forced in the corner where it gets checkmated by the knight. So very forcing line, but just a lot of moves, and a lot of specifically knight moves, which are tough to calculate for me at least. So I had a hard time with that one, but cool puzzle, cool one, dude. There it is. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.